So I'm sitting here in Bali, second time here, and just realizing sometimes you travel halfway around the world to learn something magnificent, and that's why people travel. Well, today I went to a healer slash Reiki slash energy worker and had a very enlightening session that I'm going to share with you and whoever else ends up seeing this. My name's Bill Barrett. I'm from just outside of Buffalo, New York, 55 years old. So what I learned today is that there's two types of men in this world. Men that want to do everything to leave a legacy at the end. And that's maybe wealth for their family, generational wealth, whatever it might be. And then there's men that want to have experiences in life. And at the end, they might not have anything financial to show for, but they had that. Both are fine, but you have to understand who you're dealing with when you're dealing with them, and I'm the latter. So as I'm dealing with this specific healer today, we were talking about things in my life that have led me to a path that maybe I'm not as excited about. And it's when I was very young, I lost someone very important to me, my godfather, and it made me put up walls. And these walls I've kept up for years, and they've allowed me to really protect myself from being hurt. And I always thought that was a good thing, and then I thought it was a bad thing. And today I found out it's a goodish thing. Goodish meaning you got to use it in, responsibly. The key to setting up boundaries and using boundaries in your life is that it is conditional. And everyone likes to have the word unconditional love as being important. But one of the things about conditional love is every love is conditional. And the ones that you love the most have the most conditions. So what I realized is that a lot of times when I try to support my loved ones, it's kind of on my terms. And that's okay as long as I'm not expecting anything in return. And that's when that percentage comes in. And what I mean by the percentage is if you're 100% unconditional, you've got nothing left for yourself, right? If you're over-conditional, then there's no love being felt. But what this healer shared with me today, which was like, was that if you have someone coming to you and they want something, and you say, I can do it if, or I can do it how, and then after that you step back and you want to look at it, the way it's best processed would be, let's use it as $100. Someone comes to you and says, I want $100. And you're like, well, what are you going to do for me? What are you going to do with it? Is it good for you or not? But if you say, but I'll give you $15 because it's $15 is nothing off your chest and you're good about it, then you're sharing your love conditionally in an area that's good for you, that allows you to be comfortable. You can go and give $100 to a complete stranger on the street and be fine, and there's no strings attached. But when there's strings attached, that's when it gets difficult. So what I learned today is that that's part of it. You have to find this balance. So then it led to something else that was really enlightening, is that men and women are very different in a very simple way. Men really need three things. They need a purpose, or to be hunters, right? Hunters. And then they need sleep, because that allows them to hunt. And then they need sex. That's it. That's the three things men really thrive on, live on, and that's our core. Where women are nesters, preparers, protectors. They want to protect the home that not only the man comes to, but the children that they raise. And when you look at the perspective of each, that's why there's always going to be that dichotomy, that difference, right? But if you understand that if some of those basic needs aren't being met, then that could create conflict. So conflict. I've known my wife, Gina, for over 40 years now. met when we were 15. And so we're very familiar. We're at a stage of life that is very comfortable and probably too comfortable, right? And so what we're finding out is that with the kids gone and life changing and things happening, careers shifting, that there's not as much fuel in the tank for each other. But what I learned today is if every morning you check in with your partner and you say, hey, how you feeling? And they're feeling 20% today, and you're feeling 80%. It's your responsibility today to check in and say, hey, what can I do to help out? And let's say she lists 5 things. And the first 2 or 3, like, can do it, can do it, can do it. By the 3rd or 4th, you start saying, well, if I do all these, I'm going to have 0 left in the tank. You say, hey, can we do this one together? Maybe the 5th one you look at and say, is that something you could do without today? And that's it. And guess what? The beauty of this is halfway through the day, you check in. And maybe end of work, I don't know. And you say, how are you doing today? And maybe her number's 40 and you're 60, right? Or maybe it flipped. So whoever has the higher percentage really has to that day say, what can I do to help you? And it's not helping you because they need help. It's helping you because you want them to catch up to you and you want to have a balance. Like if you can get 50-50, right? No one's going to be 100-100. It's a beautiful idea, but it's not going to happen. But if you each are 50-50, then you've got a balance, and that's pretty amazing. So, that's another thing. You got to be able to communicate in a way. And the funniest part about this is my love language, if that's a real thing, is physical touch, where my wife's love language is to be heard, right? Or to be noticed, or to be recognized. And so what we came up with in this session, not with my wife, with this healer, is that if I were to say, hey, Gina, I would love to hear about your day, but can we cuddle, right? Gina hates that word, but she used it, not me. So it's checking both boxes, but there's a good chance I'll fall asleep because I'm exhausted. But please don't be mad. I'm going to stay awake as long as I can. But you're setting the stage where you want to listen, you want to help, you want to be part of it. Because another thing I learned today is men like to have about 7,000 words a day. That's all we need. Where women need 20,000. And when you come home from work, no matter what your work is, and if you haven't gotten to your 20,000 because your wife's coming home from work, or you got home from work and you maxed out on your 7,000, there's going to be a little bit of disconnect there. So this is all about understanding the other side and getting a better appreciation for the disconnect and what it really means. The last thing that kind of just blew my mind, and this was like a healer, Bali, question, she goes, what's your libido like? I'm like, I'm good. Like not 20 years old good, but I'm good. She goes, what's hers like? I said, we got to ask her, right? That's not me to say. But she said, you need zinc. I'm like, what's zinc? I was like, is it a book? Is it an app? And she wrote, I go, oh, zinc. So the funny part about that is, like, I've got a jar of zinc at home that I haven't used. I only use it if I feel something coming on. And so jokingly, I imagine that the zinc is going to disappear now that happens, because we don't need any more of that in the house. But that's a whole nother story. But we then do. I'm joking again, joking on top of a joke. But the reality is, today, I traveled halfway around the world, had an amazing experience, and now I just want to do something with it. I want people to realize that no matter what stage you're at in your relationship, there's going to be differences. But if you can communicate clearly and you really understand that each side isn't ever going to be 100% in sync, and you can work on it together, like, that's huge. So hopefully me traveling almost 50 hours to get here, and me spending some time looking at myself and learning about myself, then we learned a lot.